Hi guys, I'm back again with another jollof rice video, but in this video I'm going to show you how to make a very tasty and yummy jollof rice. You know that flavorful and tasty jollof rice you eat in a party? I'm going to show you how to make it in the comfort of your kitchen using goat meat. So I hope you stay tuned to see how I make my party jollof rice. So for this recipe you will need regular rice. You can even use basmati or jasmine rice depending on what type of rice you like. I'm using regular rice. So this is the goat meat. I've gone ahead to cut it into my desired sizes, and here is our peppers and our onions. You can use as much as you want or as less as you want, and this is what I'm going to use to replace my tin tomato paste because I'm not a fan of tin tomato paste. You'll be needing some cooking oil, some bay leaves. Bay leaf is essential to party jollof rice, so you need it, and some nutmeg, some paprika powder, some aromat and seasoning cubes, and I'm going to be using this meat seasoning. I'll be using curry as well, garlic powder, some thyme, and here is my minced ginger and garlic paste. It's almost finished. I just poured water into it just to rinse it out. So here are all my ingredients, and now let's start cooking. So the first thing you want to do is to cut your peppers, your onion, your tomatoes, and add into a blender. So for the onion, I'm going to cut the biggest one into two and add half into the blender. I'm going to be slicing the other half and the other small one in the plate. I'm going to be slicing them separately. Now after adding everything, we are going to add in our tin tomato. Like I said, I'm not a fan of tin tomato paste. I don't like the taste, but if you like it, you can add it as well. Now we are going to rinse the tin and add the water into the blender, just about half a cup of water. So this is the other half of the onion. I'm just slicing it into thin pieces. I'm going to use that to cook the meat, and the other one I'm going to use it for frying the stew. So in a pot, I'm going to add the goat meat, add the sliced onion you saw earlier, and now I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of the meat seasoning. I'm adding 2 teaspoons of the aromat. If you don't have aromat, no problem, it will still come out very nice. Just add any seasoning cube of your choice. After that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of the garlic powder. I'm going to also add a teaspoon of thyme. And now after blending the peppers, the tomatoes and the onion, I'm going to pour it into a sieve and allow the water to drain into the pot of meat, because I need a little bit of that juice to go into the meat, because this gives your meat a very nice aroma and taste. So if you haven't tried this method, just try it. Make sure you add the liquid to the level of the meat in the pot, add a little bit of salt, and throw in 1 bay leaf or 2 depending on the quantity you are making, but make sure you wash your bay leaves before you add them into the pot. Stir everything together, cover the pot and place it on fire. Allow that to cook for about 20 minutes. So while that is cooking, we are going to continue with draining the excess water in the blended pepper mix, and make sure you don't pour the water away because we are going to be using it later. Now this is the cup I used to measure my rice. Here I have 3 cups of rice. I'm going to add it into a bowl. pour hot water over it and let it sit for 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, I'm going to drain that water and add another water to it. And I washed it severally before I could achieve this. So when you are washing the rice, you have to make sure you wash it properly until the water turns transparent, like what you just saw now. Add it into a sieve and let it drain out the excess water. So while that is sitting, we are going to heat up some oil, just enough oil to cook your rice. And this is the meat. It's all done. Now I'm going to add the meat into the heated oil and fry it until it turns to golden brown. This is just for the meat to infuse its flavor in the oil, and this will also add a very nice flavor to your party jollof rice. So after frying the meat, we are going to use that same oil to fry our sauce. I'm just adding the oil into a big enough pot. The oil is already hot, so I don't need to heat it up again. And now I just added the other half of the onion. Stir the onion for some seconds and add some thyme and throw in 1 extra bay leaf. Now we are going to saute the onion for about 1 minute until it turns translucent. After about 1 minute, we are going to add our drained blended pepper mix. And we are going to fry this for about 10 minutes until all the liquid is almost dried up. But make sure you are stirring it occasionally so that it doesn't burn. So after about 10 minutes or 15 minutes of frying this is exactly how I like it. I don't like it to be too dry. Now I just added the stock from cooking the goat meat, and now I'm adding the liquid we got from draining the excess water from the blended pepper mix. Stir everything together and taste for seasoning before you start adding. So I'm just going to add about a teaspoon of the nutmeg, a tablespoon of curry powder, a tablespoon of paprika powder. This is just going to add extra color to your jollof rice. So I'm going to add 1 out of the 2 nut cubes I showed you earlier because my seasoning is okay. So if I add the other one, it would have been too much, so I just added 1, just 1. If you are making a large quantity, you can add the 2 or you can even add more. So after adding all the seasoning, we are going to add our washed rice. Mix everything together till they are well combined. Taste for more seasoning and salt. If you need more, you can go ahead and add, but for me, my own is perfect. Okay, so I just added the minced ginger and garlic paste, which I poured some water into it to, get all the thing in there. So this is the last one I'm using. So we are going to cover the pot and allow it to cook for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we are going to stir it. Because we didn't parboil the rice, this will take a little longer for the rice to cook, so you have to be patient with the rice. So after 10 minutes, I'll cover it with a cooking paper and let it cook for another 10 minutes on a low heat. For the first 10 minutes, you have to cook it on a medium heat. Now for this second time, you have to cook it on a low heat. So after the second 10 minutes, I just checked my rice and it is not yet done. So I'm going to add more water to it because the liquid has all dried up. I just added about half a cup of water. I'm going to cover it again, leave it to cook for another 10 minutes on a low heat. After 10 minutes, this is what the rice looks like. The rice is done. At this time the rice is done, so I'm going to add the fried meat. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to add the fried meat and then cover it again for 5 minutes. Allow it to burn a little. That little burn is what will give it that smoky flavor and taste. You know, that feeling of party jollof rice, that's what we are going for. So let it like burn a little bit. Just leave the pot on fire for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, your rice is ready. Seriously guys, you need to try this recipe. Can you see my rice? It is nicely cooked. They are separate, they are not clumped together. This is exactly how party jollof rice should look, and I'm giving myself a thumbs up for this because it was perfect.